And one of the new freshmen who is being sworn in on Capitol Hill tomorrow will be the biggest. It's going to be the biggest class to hit the House of Representatives in more than 60 years. A big change for many, and that includes Mike Kelly, a one-time Notre Dame defensive tackle. He's just arrived from Butler County, Pennsylvania, where he ran a Chevy dealership. Welcome, Congressman. Thanks so much for joining us. It's great to see you. And first of all, what is your expectation? What are you most looking forward to as a member of this new class?
Well, you know, where I came from, I came out of a small business, not really a small business, but we have an automobile dealership that we've run for 57 years. So what I'm looking to do is to take that same perspective into government as opposed to what it has been lately and where there's spend without end. I'm looking to do it with common sense, the way the people who elected me expect them to look at it and to represent them in that way. So I'm really looking forward. I didn't come to watch, I came to work.
How do you feel about the debt ceiling? You clearly had some Tea Party support. What about raising the debt ceiling to $14.3 trillion this spring?
Yeah, well, you know what? It doesn't make sense to anybody other than people who work in Washington, D.C., that you can keep raising the debt ceiling. I liken it to, we all have credit cards. And can you imagine being maxed out in your credit card, not being able to make any payments on it? You call the bank and say, hey, you know what? I need more money. I want to buy a lot more stuff. Just raise the debt ceiling. You know what that phone call ends up in? Cut it in half, send it back. So I got to tell you, I think we have been so irresponsible with our spending. We have spent our kids and our grandchildren's money way into the future. We need to stop doing that. We need to get really strong about what we're doing. Have a strong stomach, have a strong back. Do what you're supposed to do.
What about the health care bill? How important is it for you to see that vote for repeal? Because some would argue that it's going to be stopped in the Senate anyway, so why waste time on that? It's a purely symbolic gesture.
No, I don't think it's symbolic at all. I think it's pretty much, it is what we talked about during the election. And people expect us to do what you say. I mean, that's what integrity is. Say what you mean what you say. If you're just going to say it in the campaign and not follow up on it, then shame on you. You shouldn't have run. That bill makes no sense to anybody in America. The greatest majority of Americans want to say, let's run from it. I know in our dealership, our cost just went up 35% to cover the new requirements by Obamacare. Does it make sense to anybody? Absolutely nobody, other than people who sit in the White House.
What if the leadership comes to you, John Boehner comes to you and says, look, Mike, I know how you feel about the debt ceiling, but we've come up with a compromise here. I met with the president. We need to do this because we don't want to become Greece. We don't want to have the problems that Europe is having. So go with me on this vote, and we're going to come up with the spending cuts later. What do you say?
Well, you know what? I think it's crazy for us to compare ourselves to Greece or Spain or anybody else. Look, the United States, we're the greatest country in the world. If we had practiced some restraint, some fiscal restraint, we would never be anywhere near this situation. This is absolutely foolish that we're even having this debate. Like, should we increase the debt ceiling? Really? Should we go beyond $14.3 trillion? I mean, the human mind shuts down. We can't begin to comprehend what $1 trillion is. So the $14.3 trillion is like, yeah, why not? Billion here, billion there, 1,000 billion here. It's just another trillion. Don't worry about it. Just keep raising the limit. What's the end game? The end game is you go broke. If I did that in my business, I wouldn't be here talking to you today. I'd be at home auctioning off everything in that dealership.
Congressman, let me ask you about the personal side of it. What is the biggest change in your life? Have you found a place to live? What are you going to do about commuting, getting back to the district, your family?
You know, I got to tell you, Ms. Mitchell, I have sticker shock. I'm so used to living in a home that makes sense, that I can afford. I come down here and say, oh my goodness, what in the world's going on here? Yeah, well, I sleep here, I'll sleep here, but I'll spend the bulk of my time when I can. I've got to get back to my district. I got to get back with the people that I walk with and I talk with, the people that I work with. I don't want to become isolated. I don't want to get inside this belt and start to think like this is my home. It's not my home. It's just a place I come to work. I live back in Pennsylvania, Northwest Pennsylvania. That's the way I'm always going to be. I'm going to spend as much time there with the folks who depend on me as I can.
Well, we hope you'll spend at least enough time here to get to know us a little bit, and we'll get to know you. And we thank you very much, Congressman. Good luck.
Yes, Ms. Mitchell, please, from now on, just call me Mike, please. I'm going to always call you Ms. Mitchell out of respect, but I'm just Mike.
No, you got to call me Andrea. It works both ways.
Okay.
Thank you very much.